understanding different types of Sagittarius and psychology behind them. Everyone says Sagittarius can't sit still, but that's not because you're restless. It's because you're awake. You're built to chase meaning, not routine. You're the one asking the bigger questions while everyone else is busy following rules. You don't wander aimlessly. You search deliberately. Because deep down, you know that the only thing worse than being lost is standing still in the wrong place. And here's the wild part. Science actually backs that up. Researchers found that people with high novelty-seeking traits have more active dopamine networks, the same part of the brain that fuels purpose and joy, which means your curiosity isn't distraction, it's chemistry. You were wired to grow. But not every Sagittarius does that the same way. There are three kinds, each ruled by a different influence. One seeks through ideas, one through experience, and one through vision. So, if you've ever felt like life's too big to be lived in one direction, if you've ever known that freedom isn't running away, it's running towards something, this one's for you. Let's decode the psychology of Sagittarius and figure out what kind of explorer your mind was built to be. Core archetype, the Sagittarius mind. Let's start with what actually drives a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is mutable fire, ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, wisdom, and discovery. You're not here to stand still. You're here to explore everything. The world, people, ideas, philosophy, belief. You're wired to move. But beneath that energy, there's something deeper. You're not chasing chaos, you're chasing clarity. In psychology, Sagittarius energy mirrors what's called meaning-making behavior. The brain's instinct to connect experiences into a story that feels coherent. You're constantly searching for why things happen, how they fit together, and what they teach you. It's how your mind finds peace. Neuroscience backs this up. The dopamine reward pathway in your brain, especially the ventral tegmental area, lights up when you encounter something new or enlightening. That's why risk and novelty don't scare you. They reward you. Your nervous system literally gets more excited by possibility than by safety. But that same drive for expansion can turn chaotic when there's no direction. When meaning fades, you move again. Not because you're lost, but because stagnation feels like suffocation. You learn through motion, not repetition. Sagittarius represents the human urge to turn knowledge into wisdom. You take what life throws at you, the lessons, the heartbreaks, the wins, and you make philosophy out of it. You turn experience into belief. Your mind is a map that never stops expanding, and depending on when you were born, that map expresses differently. Some Sagittarians explore through ideas, others through experience, and a few through spiritual vision. You're not running from life, you're studying it. Because for Sagittarius, every journey is just a question waiting to be answered. First, decan Sagittarius, the philosopher. If you're a first decan Sagittarius, born between November 22 and December 1, you're ruled entirely by Jupiter, the planet of growth, wisdom, and expansion. You're the philosopher, curious, outspoken, and endlessly optimistic. You don't just want to learn, you want to understand the point of it all. For you, life is a classroom, and every conversation, every heartbreak, every risk is another chapter in the textbook of meaning. In psychology, this connects to something called cognitive exploration, the mental drive to seek novelty and integrate new information into your worldview. Your brain literally rewards you for asking questions. Neuroscience explains this through the dopamine reward system, which activates when you encounter something new or when an idea clicks into place. That surge of energy you feel after a great discussion, a breakthrough, or an adventure. That's your brain lighting up with possibility. But Jupiter's endless expansion comes with a warning. When you fall in love with belief, it can become your blind spot. You can be so confident in your truth that you forget to test it. Sometimes, the biggest lesson for this decan is realizing that being right isn't as important as being open. You're naturally inspiring. Your words light sparks in others because you believe what you say. That conviction is magnetic. But your true wisdom comes when you let curiosity lead instead of certainty. You are the philosopher Sagittarius, the eternal student and teacher all at once. You explore not just to know, but to grow. You remind the world that knowledge isn't meant to be possessed. It's meant to be shared. Because for you, life isn't about finding the final answer. It's about learning to love the question. Second decan Sagittarius, the explorer. If you're a second decan Sagittarius, born between December 2 and December 11, your energy is ruled by Jupiter and Mars, the two planets that define movement, courage, and expansion. You're the explorer, the one who doesn't just talk about possibilities, but chases them. You think with your body as much as your mind. You learn through doing, through jumping, through trusting that wherever you land, there's something worth finding. Psychologically, this connects to embodied cognition, the theory that physical experience shapes thought. You process truth not by analyzing it, but by testing it. You believe in first-hand knowledge, wisdom earned through sweat, risk, and motion. Neuroscience even backs this up. When your body moves, your dopamine and adrenaline systems synchronize, increasing motivation, focus, and memory retention. That's why you think best while walking, traveling, or pushing yourself towards something new. Your mind literally functions better in motion. But Mars adds fire. And sometimes, that heat burns fast. You can rush from one experience to another, mistaking motion for meaning. The challenge for this decan is direction. Learning that adventure doesn't lose its magic when it's guided by purpose. You're bold, but not reckless when you trust your instinct. You're impulsive when you start doubting it. The key to your power lies in alignment, not speed. You are the explorer Sagittarius, spontaneous, brave, and full of stories that start with, "You won't believe what happened next." You remind the world that wisdom isn't only found in books. It's written in the miles we travel, the risks we take, and the people we meet. Because for you, life's greatest truths aren't found sitting still. They're found mid-flight. Third decan Sagittarius, the visionary. If you're a third decan Sagittarius, born between December 12th and December 21st, your energy blends Jupiter's wisdom with the sun's illumination, making you the visionary Sagittarius. You're not just here to explore, you're here to inspire. You don't chase freedom anymore. You embody it. You've evolved from asking what's out there to asking, what am I meant to do with what I've found? In psychology, this reflects self-actualization, a term coined by Abraham Maslow. It's the highest stage of personal growth, where purpose becomes identity. You don't just want success or discovery, you crave alignment. You want your beliefs, actions, and values to all point in the same direction. Neuroscience connects this drive to the default mode network, a system in the brain linked to imagination, introspection, and moral reasoning. It activates when you reflect on meaning, when you're envisioning your future, storytelling, or mentoring others. That's why your ideas don't just exist in your head, they radiate. People feel your energy before you even speak. But the sun's brilliance comes with its own shadows. When you carry so much light, you might feel responsible for everyone else's. You can overextend yourself, teaching, guiding, fixing, until your purpose starts to feel like pressure. The key for this decan is simple but profound. Embody, don't impose. Your vision inspires best when it comes from authenticity, not expectation. The world doesn't need you to convince it. It just needs you to be it. You're the visionary Sagittarius, radiant, wise, and purpose-driven. You lead not by authority, but by example. You remind the world that truth isn't something we find, it's something we live. Sagittarius reminds us that freedom isn't about running, it's about reaching. The first decan expands the mind, the second expands experience, and the third expands consciousness. Together, you prove that curiosity isn't chaos, it's evolution. You're the philosopher, the explorer, and the visionary, all driven by one fire, the need to understand life through living it. You don't escape reality, you expand it. You don't chase truth, you become it. So, which Sagittarius are you? The thinker, the traveler, or the teacher? Drop your decan in the comments and tell me how your curiosity shapes your world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to get all the updates.